When you're going through life, a lot of times the things doesn't go as planned as we would love to, and we just need to persevere and keep moving forward. Exactly the same thing when I think about moving. In last 11 years, I moved into 9 different cities. I moved and lived in 36 different locations and 3 different countries. So Canada, United States, and Lithuania. In those 36 moves that I made between locations for total different reasons, a lot of times I was disappointed I need to move, but I just kept moving forward. And of course, I learned a lot of lessons because of that. Now I really appreciate that. A lot of times people do not like what they are going through at the moment, but all those things lead to something better, something that you could never imagine that will lead. Because when you open the door, you sometimes you don't know what will be inside. So that's exactly what was for me when I decided to move to Canada, because I opened the door of Canada without knowing what will be inside. And it is when you're moving to different locations, sometimes you don't know what kind of roommates you will have, because at the beginning I didn't afford not to have roommates, so I needed to find roommates that could align with me, and sometimes I didn't had a chance to choose roommates because the landowner chose those. But still, I really appreciate all the roommates that I had, and it was an amazing experience. I'd love to share a few most memorable experience that I had with roommates with you, just to say that there is a lot of different roommates, and you can learn from them. It can be better, it can be better, and I hope it will help you to understand that it doesn't matter where you are currently, because it's a temporary, and you can choose to learn from every person that you meet. First, I remember that when I started studying, one guy who used to play all night long. So sometimes, of course, if you want to sleep, there is a person who's playing games. It used to be annoying, but I remember that when I finally moved to other city to work, he messaged me after a while. I didn't have his number anymore, and I said, "How is it going?" I said, "I'm working very well. How are you?" And he said, "Oh, I reached next level in my game." And it's very interesting that some people are trying to achieve great things. Sometimes people are really focused on the game, but I didn't like that person. He was very addictive on things, and he was addicted to the games at the moment. But after that, when he moved that addiction to career path, to personal development, he became very, very great, and he became a president of non-profit. So amazing guy, but at the moment he was not there yet. So that's very important. When you're going and meet a person, you don't know where they will be in the future. At the moment, it might be that they are not the best, but in the future they could change. So don't judge a person where they are now, because they have much bigger potential in the future. Now, when I moved to Canada, I remember first roommate that I had was very funny, because he used to eat super loud. I never met anyone eating that loud. I remember I used to lay down and watch something on my laptop, and I used to hear it in the kitchen. Like, was the loudest eater of all, and he was an amazing guy. He just used to eat very loud. Then I moved to other location, the same in Canada, and I lived in a very small room. And at the beginning, they didn't had any lock, and the landlord promised to have a lock, but while he was putting the lock, there was a person who came in my room, stole 500 dollars, and the landlord gave me half the money because he confirmed that he didn't put the lock in time. And basically, he gave the other person a few weeks to move out, because I do not judge that other person, other roommate who stole the money, because he was going through stuff, and I do not know what he was going through, so I do not judge. But that's another experience, and an understanding that sometimes you need to be more responsible for your belongings. Then I moved to other location, and that's probably was the most interesting roommate I had. My budget was pretty low, and I had to live in one small bedroom with a 45 years old guy who was working as a security person. And his kitchen was very weird. And he used to come back at 2 a.m. And the one thing that he used to do that sometimes annoyed me, that he used to open a big bag of chips and he started eating at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, start watching a movie and eating chips. So he used to put his hand, grab chips, and it just annoying. But I used to sleep most of the time very well, but if you wake up and you hear all those chips, this would be very weird. Now, after that, I moved to other location. Again, I moved for different reasons, but I moved with one guy who, at the beginning, I admired him because he moved in that location because he wanted to run away from his friends and change his association. And I really admire that people who are willing to change their association and be uncomfortable. But of course, he needed to basically really grow himself and become a better person. And I remember that he invited a lot of friends over into the party, and they was very late and very loud, and I needed to go to the next day to work early and asked him to leave after midnight. And he was very, very angry next day. And I left half a banana on the table because I was rushing to work. And then I came back. He was so mad at me. So like, why you left half a banana on the table? Now I need to throw it away. And the most funny thing about it is that he had full table of dirty dishes, but half a banana was a mistake. And my mom always used to say that some people will see a fly on your shoulder, but they will never see an elephant beside them. And that's exactly what was the case. He saw my banana, but he was not able to see that the kitchen is full of dirty dishes that he didn't wash for weeks. And that's what's very funny. I always remember that how a person could see the half a banana but not see all the dishes. And all those experiences really made me more grateful. Every person I met made me a little bit better. So now when I think about you, and if you want really to grow yourself, and if you have budget, don't rent by yourself. Just really try to find roommates to live with and experience how it is to live with roommates. Because I truly believe that every time when you have a different roommate, you get better, bigger, and understand people much better. So I hope that you will choose to win, and see you tomorrow.